Yeah, and you know, think about Master Craftsman. See the Stars might be one of the best horses ever to run in Europe. If he hadn't run, Master Craftsman would have 7 Grade 1 wins. How talented this horse is. So, you know, backed up the Breeders' Cup turf to come in here and run in the dirt mile, going to be very, very tough to beat.
Let's bring in Tony. Tony, what did you think initially of their decision to run Master Craftsman in this race?
Yeah, I think it's. I think the horse has got some limitations in the top class companies he's seen against See the Stars. But even so, he's ran some crackers against See the Stars at York and in the Irish Champions Stakes. The guys there, listen to the guys there. It's 6 to 5 in the morning line. They'll be very surprised to hear it's 9 to 4. In the UK, so the bookmakers are out there, you know, think the dirt mile could be against it, but on all known form, if it runs to within £5 of its best, I think it'll be good enough for this field.
I think so. I mean, this victory we're looking at in the Diamond Stakes, it's 1 mile and 5/16, and I think if this horse is cutting back, I know there's some, maybe they think probably a mile's too short, maybe, but he won the St. James's Palace. I really think this horse is a standout here for the Europeans in this race. I really do.
And he was one of the Europeans, and when he came on the track, he really made a presence. He was a horse that when he showed up here at Santa Anita and jogged down the racetrack, you could tell his class. He displayed it that morning, and he just gave you that I'm ready to go look.
Well, in the way this is configured here, I mean, this turn comes up right away in this race as we get a look at him right there. How's he been carrying himself here since he's been at the racetrack?
Absolutely great. Going to echo what Tom was saying there. I mean, he made a great appearance. The Aiden's Army came out this week. Masses of horses on the track, and this is one that really caught the eye, Tom. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. You know, when you look at him right there, now I recall exactly what I liked about him, and that is his presence. He just has great presence. You see that in the really good ones. I'm not going to compare him to this horse, but the last time I saw that was pre-Derby from Barbaro.
Paul, talk about a class test. Midshipman, fairly lightly raced. He does have speed in his corner, but now facing a horse like this in Master Craftsman, that's a tall order.
Yeah, Midshipman won here last year, and I think that's the key coming out of the race in New York. It's a conventional dirt start. We've said this many times. They've come off conventional dirt, but he at least has some experience over this pro ride. And watch this. You know, he lugs out in the lane. He sort of did it in his work a little bit. I think this is something that he tends to do, but he finishes up nice. This is a nice race. Now, can he get this dirt mile only off one start this year, Simon? I mean, it's an impressive win, but it still does not look good coming through the lane.
No, he can't win this race like this. I mean, you can't enter the stretch in the 2-path, finish the race in the 5-path, and work like it this week and expect to win a race of this caliber. It's just not going to happen.
Well, that's what's important. When he worked post that race, he was getting out that day too, and that's not a good sign.
Tom, you were in Kentucky at Turfway Park when you saw a horse named Furthest Land who's going to be a big long shot in this race, win and a win in your in race. Who are you going to go with in this one?
Well, I'm going to get away from Furthest Land. I don't think Furthest Land has the class to win this race. I'm going to the one horse, Master Craftsman. He's a horse that's done it on the poly track. He's a horse that has shown graded stakes potential. I think the American group in this race is unusually weak. I'm surprised by it.
I agree with you, Tom. We're all on board Master Craftsman here. Going to be a short price favorite, and I think the Europeans get another win here with Aidan O'Brien and Johnny Murty. He rode a great race earlier today, this Friday afternoon. I think he comes right back here aboard Master Craftsman.
9 to 4, Paul. Can you get me down in Europe?
I agree, but I do not agree. I think Midshipman has the only chance to beat Master Craftsman, and the only reason why, he's Matt Carruthers' lone speed. So I'm thinking maybe Master Craftsman can get away a little bit here. I mean, I'm sorry, Midshipman can get away on the lead. Master Craftsman usually lays about 3rd or 4th. Now you're coming to some American horses, so I think he's going to lay a little farther back. So maybe Midshipman can get away. I think maybe 1-3 with 1-3 with all, play exactas or trifectas. I think Master Craftsman is going to be hard not to run in the 1 and 2 spots. Maybe Midshipman can have a pace advantage and take him gate to wire.
You'll be able to get
in one word, guys, on 3. What do we think of that pick? 1, 2, 3.
No good.
Disease.
Disease.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
You did your Matt Carruthers impersonation.
You could give him Midshipman your tickets as he's coming by in the 8-path down there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
While he's getting a hot dog. A quick question for the panel. It's called the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, yet it's run on the Pro Ride the last 2 years. Shouldn't it be called the Breeders' Cup Pro Ride Mile?
Yeah. Good point. Good point. Let's move on to the Breeders' Cup Turf and the champ back in this race as well for the Europeans in Conduit, who was 7 to 5 on the morning line. There was an overnight. Allegre will be out, who was 50 to 1 morning line, so it didn't really change much in this race. But Conduit, coming off a 4th place performance where he was only beat 2 1/4 to maybe the best horse in the entire world, maybe the best horse in the last 30 years.
I agree with you. See the stars, there's no question. He's trained by a man who's won this race 3 times. Conduit, Kalanisi, and Pilsudski. That's Sir Michael Stout. Got 2 horses in this race. Spanish Moon, time form rated 137. Conduit stands out here at 144. And the filly sandwiches them at 141. That filly being trained by John Gosden, coming here for the 1.5 mile distance. But Conduit coming out of that ARC race, Greg. I think we'll ask Tony Kevin about this in just a second. But ARC also-rans have done very well in the Breeders' Cup Turf. It's the winners that have come here have not performed well. But those also-rans, those 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place finishes have a very good record here in the Breeders' Cup Turf.
Well, Tony, compare last year Conduit coming into this race and how he's doing this year coming into it.
Well, last year he came into the Breeders' Cup on the back of a classic win in the St Ledger. He's in equally good form, if not improved this year. He won the Betfair King George at Ascot, beating his stable companion Tartan Bearer. An excellent 4th in the ARC last time. A very, very top-class, consistent horse. I know the Sir Michael Stout camp are really thrilled with the way he's travelled over. Looks outstanding. I think he's a worthy favourite.
Well, what about the filly? How good is Dare Me? And then you also have Spanish Moon in here from the European contingent. Do they deserve a big look?
Well, Dare Me was only 1 place behind the favourite in the ARC last time. She should have won the. Well, she did win the Vermeil, but she got chucked out there. She got disqualified there on a technicality. So she's a luckless horse in some respects, and victory here would certainly atone for that. But I think if she'd have run in the Fillies and Mare Turf, she'd have won. So it's a big call for Connections to take on this harder race. And I know for a fact as well that my colleague Graham Cunningham spoke to Kieran Fallon earlier in the week, and he was very taken by Spanish Moon. This horse is a fascinating contender in that he's currently serving a 6-month stall ban in the UK, so he can't actually race in England at the moment. So he hasn't done too badly in France. But Kieran's very, very sweet on this one's chances over here. You've got 5-4, the favourite Conduit. You've got 4-1 Dare Me, and about 4-1 Spanish Moon as well.
I liked his effort in the Puy Foire, Tony. I mean, this is a key prep for the Arc de Triomphe. And what I like about Spanish Moon here is the ability that he showed to repel off, quicken up nicely in deep stretch and repel off all challenges there. But I think missing the Arc de Triomphe and coming here as a fresh racehorse is the biggest thing going for that racehorse. Would you agree?
Definitely. I mean, like I said, Graham was really taken by the way that the Kieran actually spoke about this horse. And when you consider they've got the favourite, and yeah, I think they're going to have a 1-2 here. And it wouldn't unduly surprise me if Spanish Moon improved to beat Conduit. But Conduit is the more solid of the two. It's got the form in the book. It looks magnificent, and he's coming to win again. So, for me, Conduit, you know, is going to repeat his victory from last year here.
All right, trying to win back-to-back. U.S. contingent, guys, real quick. We're going to get to your picks here in just a second. Precious Passion, going to control this race on the front end. And how big a shot to give Precious Passion?
Precious Passion, the other U.S. horses, what's the word you used earlier? Diseased.
Really?
No shot. Absolutely no chance.
Europeans,
you guys agree?
I think she's our best, or he's our best in North America, but I think the Europeans run 1, 2, 3.
The Europeans are going to fill out the superfecta, and only one horse since 1995 that's prepped here in California has finished in the turf trifecta. Not going to happen.
All right, Tom, where are you going to go?
Well, you know, I'm going to look at last year's champion, Conduit. I mean, he came here. He won this race. He'll get the pace he wants from Precious Passion, the 6-horse, to set up his late run. So I look for a 2-peat from Conduit. Get it? He's number 2 tomorrow. All right, look.
Very nice. I like
It's getting late.
Getting
Great work, Tom.
Yeah, and here we go. I'm going to sing the scale. Da, re, mi, fa, sol, la. Da, re, mi, the 5. I like the 5. Pace makes the race. The 6 is going to set it up for these Europeans. I'm playing my picks around the 2 Conduit and the 5 Da, re, mi.
This man's been up at night in the hotel room getting creative. I couldn't do any better than that, but I did come up with Conduit, though. That clearly is the horse to beat in here for a trainer that's won this race 3 times. Michael Stout, an absolute genius. If Conduit doesn't win it, his other horse will, Spanish Moon. Simple as that.
Yeah, I'm with you, but I'm going to go with Spanish Moon just because he didn't run in the Arc de Triomphe. I think he'll be a fresher horse here, but I agree. I think this is a slam dunk exacta 2-7 or trifecta 2-5-7 with the 3 Europeans. Go and punch it to what, Simon?
Till your fingers bleed.
Thank you.
We have one left to talk about. That is the Breeders' Cup Classic, the biggest of them all. And Zenyatta trying to do something no one's ever done before. But can she beat Rip Van Winkle? How bad was that foot injury? We will talk about Rip when we come back. Stay tuned.